Between me and the mountains and rivers, only to meet you. In an ordinary world, we are just ordinary gravel. Every time we meet, we are pushed forward by the tide. We can only survive by following the trend. Only by constantly adapting and advancing can we not be eliminated by society. In the beautiful environment of socialist reform and opening up, let's see how the little brother and sister Chen Ziang struggle. See how a generation of young people strive to change with the development of the times. This is a person's life trajectory and also a footprint of the development of the times. Appreciate their joys and sorrows, love and hate, and appreciate their love and hate. There is painful love, there is joyful sweetness. There is reflection on responsibility and a sense of moral responsibility. Baby has opened a new book. Penguin Swarm. 88 88 81 46. Keywords of the novel. Red Dust Fence without pop-ups, Red Dust Fence TXT Complete Collection Download, Red Dust Fence Latest Chapter Reading. Chapter 1. Memories are bitter and sweet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Memories are bitter and sweet. Chen Ziang was born with fair and beautiful skin, which was flaccid and flaccid. There were no blemishes on her face, and occasionally there were a few smile lines at the corners of her eyes. When she smiled, she had 2 dimples. She stood in front of her office window, looking out at the brightly lit and unfamiliar street outside. Tomorrow is when consumables are officially launched into the market. Watching his colleagues leave the company in a slightly cold spring breeze, Chen Ziang's eyes are slightly moist. The knocking on the door interrupted Chen Ziang's contemplation. Is there anything wrong? I saw that your office was still lit, so I wanted to come and take a look, the person said with a smile as they looked at Chen Ziang's beautiful face. Isn't your department also brightly lit? Chen Ziang looked at the slightly emaciated person in front of him with some heartache. These years have been really hard for you. The hardest part is not you, the leader. With your presence, the company has the strongest cohesion. Without you, we wouldn't have achieved what we have today. Chen Ziang sighed and said, it is this era that has made me, and it is everyone who has made me. Without everyone, I am just a single tree. I'm a bit excited about the consumables being launched into the market tomorrow, right? Fortunately, the most exciting thing was the first information technology project we jointly won, which was our first bucket of gold. Chen Ziang's beautiful phoenix eyes shone brightly. Actually, I'm here to tell you some good news. Good news. After preliminary testing and development, the app solution you submitted to us has been perfected and can be officially launched for use. It is completely an independent and almost complete app. Isn't it at least another year or 2? Chen Ziang asked in surprise. Complete the project ahead of schedule so that I can rest well for a few days and take a few days off. When you go to Jiancheng, I will go with you. But going to Jiancheng is very tiring. Follow you, which day isn't tough. Look at your thin and weak body, can you handle it? Are you going to open mountains and cultivate land in Jiancheng? I am the person in charge of your information department. If I don't go, who will go? Xicheng's, you can take us over together. With so many people and so much power, I have recently made some adjustments to various aspects of Jiancheng's situation. If you want to go through this muddy water, we will accompany you. But, there's nothing to worry about. A few CEOs will be here tomorrow. In the afternoon, you can arrange for them to all visit a demonstration of software usage. If anyone has any ideas, they can come up with them. If there are no ideas, they can be put into use. The tone of the 1.65-meter beauty in front of her is unquestionable. Okay. Then I'll go back. There are still a few after-sales connections that haven't been done well. Let me take a look and go home as soon as there's nothing else. Wan, goodbye. Watching Zhao Wan leave, Chen Ziang fell back into memories. Time flies like a shuttle, bumping in the long river of time. Memories are like floodwaters that open gates, rushing past in front of us. Life is truly a long picture, spread out, colorful, and people of all colors appear in the picture. They are stepping on the beat of the times, striving in various fields, and interpreting everyone's wonderful life with heart. With the rapid development of society and the passage of time, they have demonstrated the beauty of this era through their actions and silently expressed the strength of the country through their experiences. The boiling blood opened the prelude to memory and also opened up Chen Ziang's experience. Chen Ziang was born in a rural area of a mountain city, where there are green mountains and rivers, deep in the heart of the Qinling Mountains. There are birds singing and flowers fragrant, birds flying and swallows dancing, but there are not many material resources. His life is basically based on the hard work of his parents facing the yellow soil and carrying the sky in exchange for meager and pitiful expenses. But they have 7 or 8 siblings, and their parents have taken care of several of them with their youth. By the time she arrived, their parents were already old and unable to afford her living expenses. Although there are many brothers and sisters, they all have their own lives. In the small mountain city where materials are scarce, they also struggle hard on the poverty line and are unable to take care of her little sister. Those with better conditions should belong to the second brother. The second brother works in the provincial capital, talks about his girlfriend in the provincial capital, and settles in the provincial capital. When the second brother gets married, his parents give him valuable things from the family, so their living standards plummet. My second brother and sister law, apart from occasionally returning home during Chinese New Year holidays, usually don't see anyone, let alone help their family. My parents are getting older, and my family is led by my seventh sister law. A few days before Chen Ziang left for high school, his sister law said, "Why do girls read so many books? Isn't it time to get married and have children?" Both father and mother remained silent. "Mom and Dad," I said, "Ziang was already good enough to enter junior high school. Now that the conditions are not good, why not let her come home from school and help me? She is already in high school now, at least let her finish high school, right?" Mom couldn't help but endure the hardship of not studying, so she insisted that her children read. A few older ones can be considered somewhat promising. It's impossible to even refuse to attend high school in front of my youngest child. Besides, my youngest child studies very well. I don't have much money now, and my family still needs to live. Alright, don't say anything more. I'll take my son on to get a loan. Mom took Chen Ziang to the credit union for a loan, ran for 2 days, and borrowed 200 yuan. The tuition fee is 60 yuan, and there is also a meal fee to be paid. The meal fee is 30 yuan per semester, and one must bring their own firewood. Due to being too far from home, Ziang does not have firewood, so he can only spend 10 yuan to buy firewood from nearby farmers. The remaining money will be used for the next semester's tuition fee and daily expenses. Chen Ziang held the 2 yuan, 5 yuan, and 10 yuan bills that came with the loan and looked at the end of the mountain. The world there must be very exciting. She must go out and see. She must get into college, even if it's a loan to study. Chen Ziang successfully attended a key high school in the city, thinking that high school life was beautiful. But due to family reasons, she often eats the last meal but not the next. At that time, the food was thin corn paste. The better families would have steamed buns as dry food, and the medium ones were corn buns, with pickled Chinese cabbage or pickles. Each meal requires 2 liang of meal tickets, which are like a thin porcelain bowl and a sticky drink. Third sister worked as a police officer in the city. She had just started working and earned a salary of over 10 yuan. After getting married, she lived with her mother-in-law. Although her mother-in-law's family had good conditions, they were still from her mother-in-law's family. In addition, although the Chen family were farmers, they had the pride to live a good life on their own. Chen Ziang goes to school in the city. Sometimes when Chen Ziang goes to his third sister's house, she will give him some food or some pocket money. In this way, Ziang often has a meal without a meal. Today, he is hanging out at this classmate's house, and tomorrow, he will go to another classmate's house. This way, he has been in the first year of high school for a year, and in the first half of the second semester, Ziang has not paid his tuition fees, and the first-year loan has not been repaid yet. Chen Ziang decided not to go home during the summer vacation and worked in the city. He earned 40 yuan and paid part of his tuition for 2 months in a summer vacation, but his living expenses were still almost there. The accommodation fee of 60 yuan per semester has not been settled even though I have written back to my parents. Just when Ziang was worried, her classmate Xia Yan asked Chen Ziang to give her extra classes. So Chen Ziang moved to the house rented by Xia Yan and shared a bed with her. The living environment outside was very loose and not as strict as the school. Chen Ziang often sat with Xia Yan by the small river outside the city for half the night. Since living with Xia Yan, Chen Ziang's life has changed. Thinking of the past, Chen Ziang sighed and said, "What do we eat in our current life? There are things that fly in the sky, swim in the water, and run on the ground, as long as you want them." Chen Ziang is very grateful to the current society. If there were no better and better policies, how could a rural girl stand on a building in Beijing and overlook the dimly lit streets below? At this moment, she also missed the person who had helped her when she was lonely and helpless more and more. Young time flies past my eyes like a movie. Baby has opened a new book. Babies like strong women. A beautiful and sweet female powerhouse. Dear ones, is there anyone who likes it like me? This article is about the struggle history of the female leader Chen Ziang. It begins with an introduction and memory. Some people will question why so many brothers and sisters in the family can't afford a little sister. In such an era of material scarcity, the conditions in the countryside are so poor that her brothers and sisters can't even care for their own life. How can they take care of her sister? Small county towns are no match for big cities, all beautiful lives are created by one's own struggle. In the current countryside, if you ask, do you know the starting point? I guess many people will also shake their heads. Thank you all for your encouragement and support. Thank you. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Scholar Chen Ziang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Scholar Chen Ziang. Xia Yan is 1 year older than Chen Ziang, her father passed away early, and her mother is the director of a bureau. The family conditions are relatively good, so my mother rented a suite for Xia Yan, which is very close to Xia Yan's aunt's house. Xia Yan lived alone, and after learning about Chen Ziang's situation, she asked him to accompany her. After a night of self-study, Xia Yan called out to Chen Ziang. "Ziang, it's too late. I'm afraid to go back alone. Can you accompany me? Aren't you usually the only one? Usually, my aunt comes to pick me up. These days, my aunt is on a business trip, and I feel a bit scared when I go back alone." "Okay, then I'll go back to the dormitory and get my toiletries." "Let's go together." Xia Yan accompanied Ziang to the dormitory. Ziang took the toiletries. Xia Yan said, "Ziang, take all your things. Anyway, I live alone. How about you and me being companions? Your studies are good, give me extra classes." "Xia Yan, to be honest, I don't have the money to pay rent, and I can't even afford the school expenses," Chen Ziang said with a bitter smile. "It has been 3 weeks since my family sent her living expenses. The situation at Sanjie's house is not very good, and she cannot often go to Sanjie's house, so she has not been to Sanjie's house for over a month. Ziang, since I'm also alone, just treat me like you're with me, give me extra classes, and I won't charge you room fees," Xia Yan said, shaking Chen Ziang's arm. "That's not possible." Chen Ziang refused. She still understands the principle of not receiving rewards for no work and cannot take advantage of others. "Ziang, now I'm in my sophomore year of high school. You know, if I can't improve my academic performance, my mother will scold me. You can just give me extra classes, and 1 hour a day will be your room rate. Xia Yan couldn't help but tidy up Chen Ziang's things and pulled him out of the dormitory without hesitation. From then on, Chen Ziang stayed outside with Xia Yan. In the second half of her sophomore year, Xia Yan started dating, and every night after evening self-study, she had Chen Ziang accompany her on a date. At first, Chen Ziang opposed it, but after the opposition was ineffective, he had to face the light bulb every day. Cover up for Xia Yan. Every night, both of them go home after 11 o'clock, and Xia Yan doesn't take extra classes or pay attention to her studies. One day, Chen Ziang couldn't help but say, "Xia Yan, you can't continue like this anymore. Look at your recent exam results. My grades are not good, aren't you still there?" Xia Yan said with a playful smile. "To be honest, if you continue like this, you may not be able to get into a good university." "Don't worry, I can't get into a good university and I'm better than you. I have my mother," Xia Yan said nonchalantly. Although Chen Ziang's family conditions were not very good, he had a very high heart. After listening to Xia Yan's words, he didn't say much and moved back to the dormitory the next day. "Chen Ziang, do you have a conscience? I'll provide you with food and accommodation. You can leave as soon as you say, then you give me the room fee. When you said I would make up for your missed classes, you didn't charge for the room fee." Chen Ziang retorted that he teaches her extra classes every day and uses her as a light bulb every day. "Do you think the light bulb doesn't need to be charged? But have you given me extra classes recently?" Chen Ziang is speechless. Recently, he hasn't given Xia Yan extra classes because he watches them every day, which is also the reason why Chen Ziang moved back to the dormitory. "There's nothing more to say, right? Then give me the room fee." Hey, look at Chen Ziang. He doesn't speak his mind, he's poor. He doesn't have character and morality, Xia Yan shouted in front of the whole class. Chen Ziang's face turned red. She couldn't say that Xia Yan was in love, as she would be punished by the school. She doesn't want to say anything bad about Xia Yan, after all, they had such a good relationship before and didn't say anything. Chen Ziang sat silently in his seat without saying a word, and since then, he has been frequently talked about. She always felt like everyone was looking at her differently, and she was still as stubborn as Xiaoqiang. Learning also alternates between first and second. One day, Chen Ziang discovered that what she had written was published in the campus newspaper, but it was marked with Xia Yan's name. "Xia Yan, that was written by me. Why is it your name?" Chen Ziang stopped Xia Yan and asked. "Chen Ziang, you've been staying at Xia Yan's house for so long, shouldn't you repay Xia Yan?" Xia Yan's recent friend Dang Mu said. "But, you should tell me, right?" Chen Ziang was speechless, taking someone else's belongings and feeling confident. "Can I tell you that you will agree? Starting from today, you will help Xia Yan write an article every week and publish it in the school magazine as a reward for Xia Yan's kindness." "Is it okay for everyone to say this?" said Party Mu loudly. "The kindness of a drop of water should be repaid by a gushing spring. Chen Ziang cannot forget his kindness as a person. With your talent, not only can you write one article every week, but you can also write one article every day." Everyone says it, right? Huyen Linqing also cheered. Huyen Linqing's father was a contractor who often worked under Xia Yan's mother and followed Xia Yan's advice. Since Chen Ziang moved out of Xia Yan's house, the class often holds parties with Huyen Linqing, Xia Yan, and her boyfriend as their gang members. "Xia Yan, we used to be friends, and I have told you everything we need to say. I still hope you can turn back early and study hard. Don't waste your life." Chen Ziang ignored the others and said to Xia Yan. "Are you saying whether you write or not?" Xia Yan asked Chen Ziang. "Not writing, that would harm you." Chen Ziang said firmly. "Chen Ziang, it's okay if you don't write. Everything you write is here. Chow Yihuan patted his notebook and said. This book contains enough poetry for Xia Yan to graduate. Chen Ziang looked over and saw that Chow Yihuan was holding her notebook, which contained everything she had written. A few days ago, I was discussing with the history teacher. The history teacher said they would help her publish in a business journal and see if they could earn her some royalties. Chow Yihuan, please return the notebook to me. Chen Ziang saw her notebook in Chow Yihuan's hand and felt a little anxious, so he stood up and chased after Chow Yihuan. Huyen Lin Qing extended his foot and Chen Ziang fell, a dog gnawing on the mud, hitting the floor heavily. Blood flowed from the corners of his mouth, and his classmates burst into laughter. Have you had enough trouble? Class monitor Fu Haixing came in and saw Chen Ziang fall to the ground, pulling him up. Baba, are you okay? Because Chen Ziang is the 8th in the family, her classmates gave her a nickname. Baba, Chen Ziang stubbornly patted Fu Haixing's hand and, with tears in his eyes, sat back in his seat without saying a word. She wants to study hard, she wants to get into college, change her life. Fu Haixing is the class monitor, and his studies are also good, but he is a bit worse than Chen Ziang. He often holds discussions with Chen Ziang about his studies. From then on, Chen Ziang ignored things outside the window and focused solely on reading books during class. She either worked in the classroom or in the school library, went to work after school in the afternoon, and also worked on weekends. Her grades have always been the top in several classes, and she is occasionally surpassed by others. Teachers in various subjects take pride in Chen Ziang and always say, look at Chen Ziang, you need to learn from him. There will be no problem for Chen Ziang to take a first-tier university entrance exam in the future. Chen Ziang's goal is to study information technology at the Electronic Science and Technology University in the provincial capital. I heard that informatization will be very popular in the future, although she still doesn't know what informatization is. Will Chen Ziang, a top student, be admitted to the desired school? Wait and see. Wow, today is really a great day. Thank you all for the recommended tickets. Love you. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Bitterness and Joy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Bitterness and Joy. The college entrance examination is approaching, and although Chen Ziang's life is difficult, her studies are good. In addition to her average relationship with Xia Yan, she actually has good relationships with other classmates in the class. In her youth, she and several classmates led by Fu Haixing often reviewed their lessons together. Many of them stopped attending physical education classes due to academic stress, but they often went to play basketball. When they had time, they even made plans to go hiking. 4 or 5 young people each brought some firewood when they climbed the mountain, especially a few boys who carried a lot of firewood each time. One person could carry 30 pounds. Chen Ziang owes the firewood on the school stove to everyone who climbed the mountain together to pay it off. Everyone brings firewood to Chen Ziang, and Chen Ziang teaches extra classes. Chen Ziang chose science, but her humanities are also top-notch. Her poetry is well written and often published in school magazines. The well-known poem is Youth, ringing the window lattice of the morning dewdrops tremble in the crisp chorus of birds. The sound of Lang Lang book greets the rising sun. Scattered in every corner of the campus we dream of youth. We use dreams as our shield. We hold high the bright red flag of life in our hands, moving towards the distance. Burning, invincible youth. Run, invincible youth. Carrying our proud souls, traveling in the soul of our motherland. The sea embraces all rivers and the vast expanse of miles. Let's sing along the way. With youth as our dream, with dreams as our shield, we move forward towards our ideals. This has become a poem that motivates high school seniors to learn. Every morning, students in several classes will read aloud in the morning. Chen Ziang's studies are well known in the school, but her poverty is also well known in the school. She often delays tuition and living expenses, and her clothes are all old and some of them turn white. 17. The age of 8 is exactly the age for beauty. Apart from washing old clothes clean, she always has 2 sets of clothes. Her classmate Dang Guifang is shorter than her. One day, Dang Guifang brought a pair of semi-old shoes. Chen Ziang, I'm wearing these shoes too big and no one at home is wearing them. Can you help me solve this problem? I think your shoes are too small for me. Give it a try, give it a try. Chen Ziang knew that Dang Guifang respected her fragile self-esteem, and seeing her cracked shoes was no longer wearable. She accepted Dang Guifang's half-worn shoes, although they were a bit cramped, they were better than not wearing them. The family condition of Guifang is not very good. Just because she is from the county seat and close to her home, she often brings some pickled Chinese cabbage to Chen Ziang every other day, or takes Chen Ziang to her home to eat alone. What Chen Ziang can do is to give her tutoring, but human intelligence should be limited. Dang Guifang cannot improve her skills in both humanities and sciences. Even if Chen Ziang tries to give her tutoring, she will not be able to apply it to other students. When faced with similar problems, she has done well, but in other words, she won't. Chen Ziang is very anxious as the college entrance examination is approaching. Dang Guifang said to Chen Ziang, "Ziang, don't hold any hope for me either. I know I can't learn, and my family will marry me out when I graduate from high school." Chen Ziang doesn't understand why he got married so early, and Dang Guifang is also from the city. Do you city dwellers also want to get married early? You know the conditions in my family are not good either. There are 2 older brothers and 1 older sister. The older sister is married, and now the 2 older brothers are going to marry a wife. If you marry me, there will be a portion of the dowry, so I can marry a wife back for the younger brother. Guifang, are you willing to marry yourself like this? What can I do? I'm not as good at studying as you. Have you decided yet? My dad made the decision. It's a family from the south of our city, with good living conditions. He's a boy from class 3. Zhou Hongsheng. Chen Ziang knew that a boy from class 3 was blocking Dang Guifang every day. Zhou Hongsheng has money at home and is the village branch secretary of Qingnan village, Fu Haisheng said as he walked over. Fu Haisheng, are you a follower of the wind? You listen to people's news every day, Chen Ziang said with a smile to Fu Haisheng. What everyone knows is that you don't hear anything outside the window. What are you going to do after graduation? I want to go to the University of Electronic Science and Technology with you. Didn't we agree to go together? You two are talented and beautiful. Let's go to Science and Technology University together. After Fu Haisheng, let's just marry Chen Ziang. Marry her. I'll let it go. Fu Haisheng blushed. If you don't marry, why are you blushing? You have a ghost in your heart, right? Said Dang Guifang with a smile. You have ghosts, all you have in your heart is ghosts. Fu Haisheng's face turned even redder. Chen Ziang patted Fu Haisheng and said, "Big brother, let's go. We'll see dawn on the court." Dang Guifang, who dares to marry just like her? I want to marry a gentle girl like you, right? Fu Haisheng, dare you tease me? Look at me, Fu Haisheng covered Dang Guifang's mouth. 3 people laughed and frolicked together, the bell for physical education class rang, and they walked towards the playground together. 3 people singing while walking, Zheng Jihua's sailor. Bitter sand, the feeling of blowing pain on the face like a father scolding mother's cry. Never forget young me liking someone by the seaside. Roll up your pants and step barefoot on the beach. Always fantasizing about another world at the end of the ocean. Always thinking that brave sailors are real men. Always looking weak and cowardly when being bullied. I always hear sailors say, he said, that this little pain in the wind and rain is nothing. Wipe away your tears, don't be afraid at least we still have dreams. He said that this little pain in the wind and rain is nothing. Wipe away your tears, don't ask why is it that after growing up strive for ideals. Gradually overlooked news from father, mother, and hometown. I am now life is like acting, saying insincere words, wearing a hypocritical mask, singing and singing, party Guifang said. Ziang, you can also write lyrics, maybe it's also very popular. Who are you looking for to compose the music for? You. Chen Ziang said with a smile. Me. I don't understand anything. Dang Guifang shook her hands. What words should we write? We need to learn informatization and change, Fu Haixing said disdainfully. Do you not like the poetry written by Fu Haixing and Ziang? I like it. That poem was the one I asked everyone to recite together, and I found it particularly exciting. Ah, I said Chen Ziang, how did your parents give birth to you, this monster? They didn't even recognize your Bazi and gave birth to you. You picked it up, didn't you? Fu Haixing said with a smile. You are the one who picked it up. Yes, your whole family picked it up, Dang Guifang continued with Chen Ziang's words. I said you're a follower, can you stop parroting your words? Do you have any new ideas? Fu Haixing also refused to be outdone and rebutted Dang Guifang. I'm a follower. Who follows Chen Ziang every day and asks him to talk? What kind of heart do you think you have? You're about to graduate, so there won't be any chance. Che, just because you have a lot of thoughts, Ziang is good at studying. Can't I ask her for advice? You two argued separately. Noah, the teacher is coming. Chen Ziang interrupted them when he saw the teacher coming. As she said, Dang Guifang got married shortly after graduation, and the Zhou family gave the Dang family a large dowry. In life, there are both bitterness and sweetness, as well as astringency in sweetness. Who still remembers the song, Sailor? Children know very little about it. Requesting recommendations, seeking collections, and seeking investments. The baby has opened a new book, so this time it's important to take your time. Thank you all for your encouragement and support. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Mingluosun Mountain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Mingluosun Mountain. Chen Ziang promised to write a weekly article for Xia Yan and publish it in the school magazine in exchange for her notes. She handed her notes to the history teacher, hoping that the history teacher could help her publish them in a commercial journal and exchange a few yuan for the manuscript fee. However, soon after, the history teacher transferred them and her notes were lost. A few years after graduating from high school, by chance, she went to a business magazine and found that her notes were published under the name Chen Ziang. Looking at those familiar languages, Chen Ziang's eyes were filled with tears, and high school life had given her a lot. Xia Yan was awarded the title of Outstanding Student Representative and served as the secretary of the Youth League branch by the school for publishing many articles. During the college entrance examination, Xia Yan was admitted to the Provincial University of Electronic Science and Technology with excellent results, while Chen Ziang fell behind. The homeroom teacher found Chen Ziang, who was serving plates at a restaurant. Ziang, your grades are usually very good, why is this exam like this? Teacher, have your grades come down? Upon hearing the homeroom teacher's question, Chen Ziang was shocked and his plate almost fell to the ground. Getting into college is her only hope. During her 3 years of high school, she compromised and endured humiliation, ridicule and pressure from her classmates. After school, she goes to the restaurant to serve dishes. In the afternoon, after school, she ran to the restaurant to work, hoping to have a bowl of rice to eat. On weekends, she worked in the restaurant, and the restaurant owner would give her 2 yuan. She praised the tuition fees and ate 1 meal a day. When she was hungry, she would go to her third sister's house to have one. Even classmates with better relationships may inadvertently help her. The clothes were all left by her older brothers and sisters in the past, often with a hole in front of the shoes. Her thumb looked shyly and stubbornly at the outside world, just like her master's humble efforts. You can study for another year, said the homeroom teacher. Why? Chen Ziang asked the homeroom teacher in confusion. During the exam, she couldn't guarantee that every question was correct, and even if she didn't get a full score, she could still get 99%. After the exam, she still got down and checked the answers, unless her score would be deducted from the exam paper. If she can't get into the first tier, she should be able to get into the second tier instead of tutoring. You haven't been admitted to any school. The voice of the homeroom teacher was like a bolt from the blue, Chen Ziang's eyes full of stars. Why is this happening? Chen Ziang didn't believe it. All the notices have come down, but there is no one for you. You should study for a year, and I will help you pay for the tuition for that year. The homeroom teacher looked at Chen Ziang and said with heartache. Chen Ziang looked at the homeroom teacher in a daze. Ziang, what's wrong with you? The homeroom teacher was startled by Chen Ziang's foolish gaze. After a while, Chen Ziang threw away the plate in his hand and ran away. Her beautiful big eyes were bloodshot, and she ran to the front of the school's honor list, staring at each one for a full 3 hours. It was getting dark, and the world was in darkness. Chen Ziang couldn't find her name on the glory list, and class leaders Fu Haixing and Xia Yan topped the list. Even Huyen Linqing was able to get into the second tier. This night was the darkest night of Chen Ziang's life and also a turning point in his life. In the 3 hours, the homeroom teacher also stood with Chen Ziang for 3 hours. As the night fell, the campus was pitch black, and the summer crickets were chirping silently, causing Chen Ziang to shiver. Ziang, let's review for another year. Your studies are widely recognized as good. It may be an accident that you didn't pass the exam this year, but it's okay. We will continue next year, and the teacher will cover all your expenses. The homeroom teacher was afraid that Chen Ziang might have an accident, so she always guarded him. Okay, teacher, you don't have to worry about me. I'll listen to you and take another year of tutoring next year. You can go back. Chen Ziang said to the homeroom teacher. Is it really okay? The homeroom teacher responded to Chen Ziang. It's really okay. If I didn't pass the exam, I just didn't pass. I'm not the only one who didn't pass, Chen Ziang said grandly. I wish you could think this way, I'm afraid you won't be able to take it seriously. I've agreed, I'll cover your expenses for a year of tutoring, and I'll ensure you have no worries about food and clothing this year. Give me a good exam next year, take Peking University and Tsinghua University, said the homeroom teacher arrogantly. Okay. Chen Ziang agreed. Then you come to my house with me. We haven't had dinner yet this afternoon. No, you can go back. It's bothering you. I still have to go back to the restaurant and wash dishes, Chen Ziang remembered and dropped a plate from the restaurant. The homeroom teacher saw that Chen Ziang had returned to normal, so she went back with peace of mind. The homeroom teacher ran to the office and picked up the phone, saying, Director Tang, everything has been implemented according to your plan. Teacher Wu, thank you for your hard work. Is Xiaoqin's child okay? It's okay, I told her to take a year of tutoring, and I will cover her expenses. What's up to you? I'll do it. If it weren't for Xiaoqin, Xia Yan wouldn't be able to go to school in the province. Tomorrow, I'll give you 50,000 yuan. Take good care of Xiaoqin and let her take a good exam next year. If Tang Ju says it, then follow Tang Ju's instructions. The homeroom teacher hung up the phone and hummed a tune before returning. Chen Ziang saw the homeroom teacher leave and sat down at the bottom of the honor list, which lasted all night. She couldn't figure it out, even Xia Yan and Huyen and Linqing passed the exam. Why didn't she get accepted? Do they usually pretend? The next noon, when class monitor Fu Haixing passed by the campus, he found Chen Ziang sitting in front of the glory list. Baba, what are you doing sitting here? You're sunbathing to death. Chen Ziang's mouth was blistering, his face turned black and red, and his arm was also sunburned, black and red. Fu Haixing looked at the glory list and said, Xia Yan is actually better than me in the exam. Damn it, the world is upside down, the earth is upside down. Damn it, Chen Ziang, where are you? I'm here. Chen Ziang patted the dust off her body and stood up. After sitting for a night or half, she almost fainted. Her eyes turned black and she shook for a moment. Fu Haixing realized that Chen Ziang was not right and quickly helped her. I said, Baba, don't lose heart. Your studies are above mine, maybe your grades will come down in the end. Fu Haixing comforted Chen Ziang. Fu Haixing, I am not your father. You have called me father for 3 years, but I cannot give birth to your sons and daughters. From now on, please call me Chen Ziang. But I'm used to it. Then change your habits. Or you can call me ancestor better than dad. Okay, ancestor, the sun is too bright. Shall we go home? Fu Haixing supported Chen Ziang and lightly poked his blistered arm, causing Chen Ziang to grin in pain. Chen Ziang knocked off Fu Haixing's hand. It's all blistering. Hurry up to my house and have my mother apply some ointment to you. Don't leave any scars, then it will really become a scar. No need, my skin is rough and my flesh is not as thick as those from your city. This little thing is nothing. I said, Ziang, you are delicate and tender, where is it thick? Fu Haixing poked Chen Ziang's face again. Fu Haixing has good family conditions and good development, almost 1 head taller than Chen Ziang. He looked down at Chen Ziang's usually fair and tender skin, which turned black and red from the sun, and felt very sorry in his heart. I'm looking for recommendations, collections, and investments. I promise to make 2 changes every day. Thank you for your recommendation, dear. Thank you for your support. End of this chapter. 5, Chapter 5 Application of Medicine. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 Applying Medicine. Fu Haixing's home is located next to the school, and his mother is a doctor at the county hospital. I won't go, I have something else to do. Chen Ziang refused. If you don't go, I'll keep following you. Wherever you go, I'll follow you. Fu Haixing followed Chen Ziang. Chen Ziang looked at Fu Haixing, a boy who was white and pure, with a faint fuzz on his lips, shining a fluffy yellow light in the sunlight. In the past 3 years, although I have called her Baba like everyone else, I often discuss and study with her. I put some mantu or biscuits in her seat pocket. I remember one time when she didn't even have the money to buy a notebook, Fu Haixing and she were discussing studying when they bumped into her. She accidentally spilled ink on the new homework book that Fu Haixing had just bought. Fu Haixing said angrily, how could you be so careless and ruin my newly purchased notebook? You hit me. If I hit you, you should have spilled ink on it, right? So what are you going to do? Punish you. Why punish me? Humph, I'll punish you for finishing these 4 notebooks. If you don't finish them, wait for me to tidy you up. Fu Hai angrily snorted and threw the notebook on Chen Ziang's desk, arrogantly leaving. Chen Ziang used these 4 notebooks very carefully for a semester, and both sides were used up. Chen Ziang smiled as she watched Fu Haixing. A warm stream flowed through her heart. If the 3 years of high school were dark, then Fu Haixing was a light in the darkness, and this light brought her light and warmth in the darkest of times. She no longer refused Fu Haixing. Chen Ziang followed Fu Haixing to his home, and Fu Haixing's mother went to work, leaving only Fu Haixing at home. Fu Haixing used ointment to treat burns and said, sit down, don't move. I'll do it myself. Chen Ziang said awkwardly. I'm a doctor, you're a patient now, and patients have to listen to the doctor, Fu Haixing ordered. His face was red, even his ears were red. Chen Ziang sat quietly, hearing the heartbeat of the 2 of them. She watched as Fu Haixing carefully applied ointment to her, a long time that had left Chen Ziang with a lifelong memory. When it was time to paint the corners of his mouth, Fu Haixing said, close your eyes. Don't stare at me. Chen Ziang closed his eyes according to his words, and a warm softness came from his lips, piercing through her soul like an electric current. Chen Ziang wanted to open her eyes, but her eyes were blocked by a hand, so her lips were gently tapped with each soft click. Haisheng. Their ears rang with the voice of Fu Mama. Fu Haisheng jumped away like an electric shock and said, "Mom." "Auntie." Chen Ziang opened her eyes were watery and clear like a clear spring, reflecting the slightly distressed expression of Fu Mama. Lin Shuiyin was momentarily stunned when she saw Chen Ziang's eyes. These eyes were pure and clear, with distinct black and white. Her face was black and red, indicating a sunburn and blisters on her lips. Looking at her arm again, there was also a sunburn, but it had already been applied with ointment. She turned to look at his son, who also had ointment on his lips. Fu's mother noticed that her son had grown up, one head taller than her, and his beard, symbolizing male hormones, was openly displayed. Her son was applying ointment to the girl in a different way. Chen Ziang also looked at Fu Haisheng, whose face was even redder than before, all the way to his neck. "Fu Haisheng, why is there ointment on your mouth?" "I was so careless that I applied all the ointment to my lips." "Isn't it easy to be a doctor?" Lin Shuiyin picked up the toilet paper on the table and wiped off the ointment on Fu Haisheng's lips. She saw clearly how he applied the ointment to the girl who was just coated with ointment is too naive. "Did you see it?" "My mom knows I was careless, but you don't even know." "I'm so stupid." "Humph." Fu Haisheng turned around arrogantly. "Mom, please put the medicine on Baba. Don't leave a scar. If there is a scar, I will ignore you." Fu Haisheng shouted with his back to his mother. "Baba." Lin Shuiyin was confused. "Auntie, it's me. Are you called Dad?" Lin Shuiyin felt a bit strange. "I'm not my dad, I'm the 8th in the family, and they all call me 88. Auntie, my surname is Chen Ziang." Chen Ziang explained. "Are you Chen Ziang?" Lin Shuiyin listens to her son muttering about Chen Ziang every day, and her ears are calluses. Lin Shuiyin looked at the girl in front of her once again, with her watery phoenix eyes, standard willow eyebrows, oval face, black hair tied in a long ponytail, and 2 dimples that could drown a person with just a smile. Her skin was tanned red. If it weren't for sunburn, she would have been a living little beauty. She gently picked up the ointment and applied it to Chen Ziang. Chen Ziang is very strange. Why is Fu Haisheng so gentle and comfortable when applying ointment, and why is Fu Mama different when applying ointment? Isn't Mom Fu a doctor? Isn't it more comfortable for doctors to apply ointment? Does it hurt? No pain. How did it end up like this? I sat at school all morning and it turned out like this. What are you doing sitting under the sun? I forgot while reading. Oh my, how could you do this, child? It's important to study well, but you still need to pay attention to your health. Well, I know Auntie, thank you Auntie. I've heard that Haisheng often mentions you, saying that you study very well and often give him lectures. Haisheng's studies are also very good. We help each other. Haisheng is very mischievous. If it weren't for your help, he probably wouldn't have been able to get into college. How could that be? Haisheng is our class monitor. He studies well and is also a good person. Many students like him. Do you also like it? I like it. My relationship with Haisheng is like iron brother. We play ball together and do homework together. Lin Shuiyin looked at the little girl in front of her. At the age of 17 or 18, she was truly in the prime of her life, especially with her clear and bright eyes. Although she was sunburned, a smile deeply attracted her. No wonder his son likes it. Inexplicably she has also fallen in love with her. According to Haisheng, both of you applied to the University of Electronic Science and Technology. Yes. Admitted, right. Haisheng has been admitted. Lin Shuiyin stopped in her hand for a moment. I have not been admitted to any university. The homeroom teacher asked me to repeat my studies for a year. Well, then you should study hard for a year and strive to pass the exam next year. Fu Haixing said that Chen Ziang's studies are better than him, and Fu Haixing relied on him. Why didn't Chen Ziang pass the exam? Well, thank you, auntie. Lin Shuiyin put down the ointment in her hand and went to wash her hands. When Chen Ziang and Lin Shuiyin walked to the yard, Fu Haixing was pinching beans. Mom, I want to eat steamed noodles. Can you give us steamed noodles today? Didn't I just have lunch? But I still want to eat tonight. Fu Haixing's face turned red again and he glanced at Chen Ziang. Ziang, after dinner this afternoon, I'll leave. Auntie will steam noodles for you. Lin Shuiyin understood his son's thoughts. The young man's emotions are naive and beautiful, while the shy and proud Fu Haixing secretly loves Chen Ziang. Unfortunately, Chen Ziang doesn't know. I request investment, recommendation, and collection. Thank you all for your support and encouragement. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Seeking help from Sister Wu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Seeking help from Sister Wu. Chen Ziang had an afternoon meal at Fu's house, which was really delicious. She hasn't had enough to eat for a long time. Fu Haixing filled her with a pile of pointed bowls of steamed noodles, and later allocated the rice from his bowl to Chen Ziang. Ziang, I can't finish eating. Please help me, otherwise my mother will scold me. I'm eating too much. Did I touch and hold up? Fu Haixing said as he was about to take action, frightened Chen Ziang and quickly pushed the bowl to him. Lin Shuiyin watched the interaction between the two children. She knew his son's thoughts, but the girl seemed to be very confused. Her son can usually eat a bowl and a half of rice. In fact, she has also cooked a lot of rice, and there is still some in the pot. Looking at her son like that, Lin Shuiyin secretly laughed. After dinner, Fu Haixing wanted to take Chen Ziang back to the restaurant, but Chen Ziang refused. Returning to the restaurant, the boss asked her why she left without saying goodbye and wanted to deduct Chen Ziang's salary. Uncle, I'm going home. Today is my last time coming to work. Yesterday was my bad day and I didn't tell you when I left. Look, if you think I'm wrong, I won't take my salary anymore. Just give me 2 yuan for the way home. The restaurant owner heard that Chen Ziang had stopped working and felt a bit reluctant. This girl is very capable, and she does all the hard and tiring work. Moreover, her salary is not high, only 8 yuan per month. Why don't you stop working well? I have something at home. Yesterday, the teacher came to inform me to go home. I'm sorry, uncle. Thank you for taking me in during this time. Chen Ziang thanked the restaurant owner from the bottom of his heart. In recent years, he has been working at his home, providing food, drink, and even some money. Children as big as them are not wanted by other families. When the restaurant owner heard about something happening at Chen Ziang's home, she not only didn't deduct Chen Ziang's money, but also gave him an extra 2 yuan. Chen Ziang left the restaurant with 10 yuan, but she didn't want to go home. Parents have worked hard all their lives to support 8 of their brothers and sisters. They have to worry about them when they are old. They think that they have never attended school, so they will send their children to school. Although their family conditions are not well off and they do not have much financial resources, they would rather save money from their rations to read for their children, hoping that their children will have a bright future. I also hold hope for Chen Ziang. He studies well and brings back his certificate every time he returns, so no matter how hard he works, they won't say they won't let Chen Ziang not go to school. I remember one time when Chen Ziang came home and said to his mother, "Mom, I don't want to go to school anymore. Isn't my 5th sister working in the provincial capital? I want to work with my 5th sister." Mom knows how many sisters you have, and you are the youngest. We love you the most, but we treat you the most unfairly. Your brothers and sisters are all grown up, we are also old and can't do any work anymore. We have no skills, but no matter how hard it is, you don't have to suffer as much as your parents, at least you still have food and clothes to wear now. When parents were young, they didn't even eat or wear clothes, they were just a fig leaf. You said, if you don't study, do you want to be like your mother, facing the yellow earth and back to the sky for the rest of your life? What is the way out for us rural people not to study? Chen Ziang looked at his mother's graying hair and didn't say anything. His parents were great, even though they were products of the escape from family planning. My parents have a very conservative mindset, but they have given them life and space to survive. Although they are poor, they have left them with resilience, just like Xiao Chang who never dies or dies. She thought she could get into college, but the reality is cruel. What's the use of studying well in her daily life? Isn't it still a drop in the bucket when the official exam comes? What should she say when she doesn't want to go home? She doesn't want to go to tutoring anymore. She has already spent a lot of money at home in 3 years, and if she asks for money from her family again, she really can't speak up. Although she didn't say anything, she looked as if it was going to rain on the eve of rainstorm every time. And the other few, except for the third sister, rarely go because everyone's family conditions are not comfortable and they have to raise children. She sat by the river outside the county town for an afternoon, where there used to be beauty, playing and frolicking with her classmates. I remember one time when I went home with Xia Yan said. Chen Ziang, don't worry, if you have me, Xia Yan, you can eat in one bite. Chen Ziang, you can eat in one bite. Xia Yan, don't worry, I'll take care of your studies. As long as you study hard and ensure that you get into a good university, we'll both go to the same university. It's really ridiculous to think about it. Xia Yan was admitted to college, but she was nothing. Chen Ziang found a BB phone number in his backpack. This is what Sister Wu left for her. Ziang, if you have anything to do, give Sister Wu this pager. If you run out of money, Sister Wu will send you money. But Ziang never called Wu Jie once. The other sisters all have jobs and life is not easy. Moreover, Wu Jie hasn't read much books, so she definitely hasn't had an easy time. Since fifth sister eloped with that man, she has never returned home and hasn't seen fifth sister for several years. Ziang also wants to know if fifth sister is doing well. Ziang wants to call Sister Wu and see if she's doing well. If she's doing well, she will go to Sister Wu and work in the provincial capital. Ziang ran to the post office and sent a pager to Wu Jie. After waiting for 2 hours, Ziang fell asleep and Wu Jie called back. The post office asked, "Who is Chen Ziang?" "Who is Chen Ziang?" Ziang ran over holding his backpack. Fifth sister, I am Ziang. Ziang, do you still remember Sister Wu? Why don't you remember? When I was at home, Sister Wu loved me the most. Sister Wu, how are you? Ziang cried over the phone. Wu Jie is doing well, Ziang. Don't cry, are you out of money? Wu Jie will send it to you. Sister Wu, I don't want any money. I want to go see you. Are both parents okay? Then I'll come back and pick you up, okay? Both parents are fine, Sister Wu. You don't need to come back to pick me up. Please give me the address and I will go by myself. You haven't left the house alone, dare you come over? It's okay, Sister Wu. I've grown up now. Okay, when will you come? Sister Wu, can I come find you today? Chen Ziang was eager to find a job. If she can find a job during the summer vacation, she can earn money and come back to study again. Okay, you can take the bus from the bus station to the west of the city, and I will pick you up at the west of the city station. However, you will also arrive tomorrow morning by bus now. Remember to send me a pager when you can't find me. Chen Ziang hung up the phone, and the post office asked her for 1 yuan. Didn't you answer the phone? You still need money to answer the phone. Are you using someone else's things for free? This is a national policy, and it is mandatory to give it to them," said the person at the post office. "That's not so expensive, is it?" "Auntie, you see I really don't have money, can I give you 30 cents? Ziang negotiated. "No, 50 cents. 50 cents is 50 cents. Ziang felt a pain and searched for 50 cents, then quickly ran to the station. Although there were many sisters, everyone's lives were not very good in the environment at that time, and they all had their own preferences. Chen Ziang thought of fifth sister helplessly. What kind of experience will Chen Ziang have when he goes to the provincial capital? End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Farewell. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Farewell. She wants to go out and find Sister Wu, see if she can find a job and work for a summer vacation. If she can earn a year's tuition during the summer vacation, she will come back to continue her studies. If not, she won't go to school. Chen Ziang, Chen Ziang. Fu Haisheng's shout came from behind. Fu Haisheng, what's wrong with you? Chen Ziang saw Fu Haisheng panting heavily. Where are you going? I'll go find my fifth sister, she's in the provincial capital. You're going to the provincial capital now and can only arrive tomorrow. It's too late, it's not safe. It's okay, I've already agreed with my fifth sister. She said she will pick me up in the west of the city tomorrow morning. Then I'll take you there. Fu Haisheng didn't trust Chen Ziang to go to the provincial capital alone. No, if you don't tell Auntie where you went, Auntie will be anxious. You go back quickly, don't waste my time. But, don't be fooled, I'll give you my fifth sister's pager number, and you'll call me tomorrow. Chen Ziang left her fifth sister's pager number to Fu Haisheng. Fu Haisheng took out 50 yuan from his pocket and gave it to Chen Ziang. This is my pocket money, I have been saving it up, you take it on guard. I originally wanted to give it to you when we went to school together, but now it's the same for you. It's your first time going out, so if you don't have money, you can't do it. This is too much, I can't take it. Chen Ziang, who is so old, has never seen so much pocket money before. Are we good buddies? Yes. Chen Ziang pondered for a moment and answered. You're silly. Since you're a good friend, mine is yours, and yours is also mine. You're all mine now. What's the point of sharing? Take it quickly, or I'll get angry. Fu Haisheng stuffed the money into Chen Ziang's backpack. Chen Ziang watched as Fu Haisheng stuffed money into her backpack, and she no longer refused. It was not acceptable to leave without any money. I'll call you tomorrow. You stay for a while and come back. When you come back, study hard and try to get into my school. I'll wait for you. Chen Ziang was moved to tears. Fu Haisheng is really a good buddy. Close your eyes and let me see your injury. Didn't I just see it this afternoon? Afternoon is afternoon, now is now. Hurry up and stop talking, said Fu Haisheng impatiently. Chen Ziang closed her eyes according to Yan, feeling her lips warm and soft again, with a tingling electric sensation. Opening her eyes, she found that Fu Haisheng's face had turned red again. Chen Ziang pursed his lips and closed his eyes for a moment. Curious, he no longer felt that way. Fu Haisheng, do you have a fever? Chen Ziang reached out to touch Fu Haisheng's forehead and was knocked off by him. I don't have a fever. So why is your face so red? The weather is too hot, can't it? Just now, everything was fine, and now you're blushing. Chen Ziang muttered. Don't you feel hot? Are you okay? You must be a cold-blooded animal. The car to the provincial capital was about to start, and Chen Ziang became anxious. I'm leaving. Fu Haisheng escorted Chen Ziang onto the car and kept reminding him, Chen Ziang must pay attention to safety. I'll page you tomorrow. You must come back to me, I'll wait for you. I know, mother.in.law. Chen Ziang also felt a bit reluctant in his heart. I will work for a summer vacation and come back to study again. I must be admitted to your school. I'll pick you up then. Fu Haixing watched with reluctance as Chen Ziang moved further and further away with the car. Originally, Chen Ziang's lips were so soft. Although they were blistering, the feeling was really good. He really wanted to take a bite, but he was afraid that she would hurt. He likes Chen Ziang. From the moment Chen Ziang introduced himself, Chen Ziang's clear eyes and deep dimples attracted him. He often sees her smile in his dreams, but her classmates often bully her at school. She is the 8th in the family because they have too many sisters. Her classmates make fun of her and say that she is the Baba left by her parents, so she has a nickname. Chen Ziang has a high heart. Although her classmates make fun of her, her grades have always been among the top, and the teacher really likes Chen Ziang. He is the class monitor who can protect a little bit, but he cannot let everyone find out that he likes her, otherwise everyone will laugh at him, so he occasionally plays pranks with his classmates and causes trouble with Chen Ziang. Chen Ziang not only studies well, but also plays basketball, especially Chen Ziang's 3-step layup with a ponytail is simply handsome. The male classmates really enjoyed playing with Chen Ziang, but the female classmates didn't like her very much. Later, when Xia Yan spoke ill of Chen Ziang in class, Xia Yan formed cliques and Chen Ziang was basically isolated. Chen Ziang studies well and has always been among the top. When his mother knew he liked Chen Ziang, she said to him, "If you want to attract Chen Ziang's attention, you have to study hard. Girls who study well have high morale, and most people don't like them." So Fu Haixing worked hard to catch the attention of Chen Ziang, and they often discussed learning issues together. He often finds Chen Ziang to study with. He likes to watch her frown when she thinks, like her peaceful face, like her gentle and unassuming appearance. I really like her lively appearance on the sports field. She plays basketball even more smoothly than him, and her sprinting is the best every year. Her classmates in this class, led by Xia Yan, always come to her for trouble, but she has gained a lot of fans in other classes. As long as anyone in their class participates in a competition, everyone cheers for Chen Ziang. I remember a sprint race where several classmates from class 4 started fighting internally because they were cheering on Chen Ziang. The fight went viral, and the principal intervened to mediate. Although Chen Ziang is poor, she has a good character. No matter which class students have questions they don't know, they will always ask her. She patiently explains them, and students are very afraid of the teacher. When they see the teacher, they try to take a detour, so if they have any questions they don't understand, they always go to Chen Ziang. Chen Ziang is a role model for all the students in the school. The teacher said, "Chen Ziang is poor, but she is spiritually rich. How many of you have studied better than her? How many of you have helped classmates with their studies? Chen Ziang has developed comprehensively in morality, intelligence, physical fitness, aesthetics, and labor. What about you?" The teacher said, "Being poor is not scary, what's scary is knowing that you are poor and not having a heart that wants to get rid of the poor." As long as Fu Haixing is with Chen Ziang, his restless young heart becomes incredibly peaceful. When she was lecturing, her red little mouth moved up and down. He often wanted to touch it, but he never had a chance. Today, he finally had a chance. But when interrupted by his mother, Fu Haixing felt a bit regretful. He hadn't touched it enough yet. The book said it was called First Kiss, and the first kiss was given to the person he loved the most. Chen Ziang, a foolish woman, didn't even know it was the first kiss, so she couldn't let her know. If she knew it, she would laugh at him. She is too young to understand anything. When she goes to college in the future, he will teach her and he will definitely wait for her. Watching the car disappear from the dust, Fu Haixing felt as if something was missing in his heart, empty and very disappointed. Their wonderful 3 years together came to an end like this, but she will definitely wait until the day when Chen Ziang is admitted to the University of Electronic Science and Technology. Open a new book, seek investment, seek collection, seek recommendation. Thank you dear ones. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Meeting Sister Wu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Meeting Sister Wu. At the age of 17, Chen Ziang embarked on her journey, a journey that she never had the chance to go to college again, and also a journey that she never had the chance to go to with Fu Haisheng. Fu Haisheng never waited for Chen Ziang in his lifetime. Chen Ziang got off the car the next morning and saw fifth sister. Wu Jie is really fashionable. She is curled up in waves, waving and stopping. She is wearing a white shirt, rolled up shorts, high heels, red lipstick, and black circles under her eyes. Chen Ziang didn't even recognize her. If it weren't for Wu Jie calling her, she wouldn't have known that person was her Wu Jie. Sister Wu's name is Chen Ziyue. She is 1.68 meters tall, and wearing high heels. She is over 1.7 meters tall, which is 10 centimeters higher than Chen Ziang. Sister Wu hugged Ziang. Sister Wu, you haven't come home for so many years, I miss you so much, Chen Ziang cried. Ziang, sister misses you too. Chen Ziyue also cried, her black circles turning into panda eyes, which made Ziang laugh again. Where's brother? Lol. Chen Ziang knew that Chen Ziyue had eloped with a man, so he asked his brother. Lol. Your brother. Lol has gone to play, let's go. I'll take you home. Chen Ziyue took Chen Ziang to her house. When Chen Ziyue opened the door, Chen Ziang was dumbfounded. This is no home, not even the place where Xia Yan rented. The place where Sister Wu lives is a small courtyard, with rooms on both sides and an aisle in the middle. All the room lights are revealed from above the aisle. Fifth sister lives on the second floor, and when she opens the door, it's probably a small room of more than 10 square meters. Inside, there is a bed, a simple wardrobe, a small round table, and a few pairs of bowls and chopsticks, a small chopping board, and a gas stove. There is a small stool next to the table. Sister Wu, have you been living here for the past few years? Well, I've been living here for several years. Why don't you even have a piece of furniture? Why do you want furniture while you're sitting? I don't live here, I come back occasionally, and your brother. Lol lives alone. So, Sister Wu, where do you work? I used to be here, but now I'm in Ling County. Sister Wu, have you been doing well these years? It's okay, having food and drink is better than staying at home. What does brother. Lol do? He just eats, drinks, whores, and gambles. There was a hint of impatience in Wu Jie's tone. From Sister Wu's tone, Ziang could tell that she might not have been doing well in recent years, and her relationship with her brother. Lol was not very good either. What kind of person is the one who can make the beautiful fifth sister elope, as she has never seen her brother. Lol before? Ziang. Sister Wu called Ziang when she saw Ziang bowing her head in contemplation. You should go to college in the second half of the year, right? How was the exam? Where did you get there? Sister Wu, I didn't get into college. I came out this time just to ask you to help me find a job. I will start working during the summer vacation and then go back to study for a year. Chen Ziang looked at Sister Wu expectantly. Ziang's studies are widely recognized as good, but she has not yet been admitted to university. It seems that it was right not to go to school in the first place. Wu Jie thought to herself, but in fact, she has had a hard time coming out of school in the past few years. She often dreams back to her school days in the middle of the night, and she also knows that Ziang's school life is just as difficult as hers, lacking food and clothing. If it weren't for her days of not eating, she wouldn't have run out with an old man. Wu Jie took off her makeup and revealed her original appearance. In fact, Wu Jie was really good looking, with thin willow eyebrows, a high nose bridge, a mother-like melon seed face, red phoenix eyes, but also beautiful double eyelids and cherry lips. Just the skin was a bit dark yellow, and Sister Wu took off her makeup and looked much more natural. Sister Wu, it's better not to put on makeup in the future. Makeup doesn't look as good as you do now. Sister Wu looked at Ziang's skin, which was about to burst, and smiled, saying, I'm not like you. You just need to have small skin. I can't even see people without makeup. Besides, the work I do requires makeup. Who wants you without makeup? Ziang hasn't seen Sister Wu for a long time, and the nervousness in his heart has dissipated. He will talk to Sister Wu about this and that later on. Sister Wu, you still have time to go back and see your parents. They are getting older, and they actually miss you a lot, but they don't know how to contact you. Every time I go back, my mom asks me if you have any news. I'm not doing well now. When I make money, I'll go back and see them. I want to buy a house. Sister Wu, where is my brother.in.law? I'll be back in the afternoon. I'll spend a few days with you to see if I can find a job. I'll take you to see your niece in the afternoon. Okay, Sister Wu. I already have a niece. Where is the niece? Others are taking it with them. Sister wants to earn money to support her. Fifth sister spoke of her daughter with a gentle expression on her face. Sister Wu hugged Xiang's shoulder and said, Let's go, Sister will take you to dinner. Sister, let's cook and eat at home. You have everything here, just buy some dishes and I'll do it. Xiang actually doesn't know how to cook, she can only cook noodles. She saw that Sister Wu's conditions are not good, so eating at home can save some money. Our son Ong has grown up and can cook now, Chen Ziang said as she hung her finger on Chen Ziang's nose. The blisters on Chen Ziang's lips had not yet gone down. Look, you're all getting angry. Chen Ziang didn't say she didn't sleep all night. She remembered the feeling that Fu Haisheng had applied ointment to her, and a soft feeling arose in her heart. She reached out to touch her backpack and found that the money Fu Haisheng had given her was still there. If she couldn't find a job, this money would be enough for her to use for 6 months. As long as she calculated her expenses carefully, it would definitely be enough. In fact, she still wants to go to college. She also wants to take the exam at Fu Haisheng School and repeat it for a year. She still has a chance. For rural children like them, studying is the only way out and the only opportunity to change their destiny. 2 people were about to walk out when a man entered the door without even knocking. Ziyue, have you come back? You're playing cards again. Didn't you go see the kids? Come on, this is my 8th sister, Ziang, and this is your niece's father. Hello brother.in.law. Ziang obediently called out to his brother.in.law. Chen Ziyue, are you the most beautiful woman in your family? My brother.in.law looked at Chen Ziang and smiled, but did not speak to him. There's no official. We're going to have dinner, are you going or not? Chen Ziyue said, I'm not going, you 2 can go. Just bring me some food when you come back. You're dozing off, my brother.in.law yawned, with 2 panda eyes on his Chinese face. I'm going to see the baby later, aren't you going too? Chen Ziyue was a bit annoyed. Her sister came, but he ignored her. No, you guys go quickly. My brother.in.law walked to bed, closed his eyes, and started snoring. Chen Ziang. Is there such an operation where you snore when you go to bed? Chen Ziyue knew Chen Ziang's thoughts and said, he played mahjong all night, mahjong. Does brother.in.law often do this? Not often. Chen Ziang breathed a sigh of relief when he heard Wu Jie say that she often does this. His parents said that people who love playing mahjong are not good people. It's like this every day. 5th sister kicked her foot hard. Chen Ziang defected to Wu Jie, thinking that Wu Jie's life was very good. Seeing Wu Jie's situation, Chen Ziang's heart sank, but he still held some hope, hoping to find a summer job. I have opened a new book. I wonder if the second book will be the same as the first one. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Sisters Chat. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9 Sisters Chat. Ziang, here are all snacks. Just let me know what you want to eat. This is bean curd jelly served with sauce. This is egg pancake, this is soup with pepper, this is hot rice peel, this is meat bun, this is mirror cake. My sister introduced one by one. Chen Ziang, not to mention eating, has never even seen it before. Chen Ziang swallowed a mouthful of water. She wanted to eat anything. Now that she was growing up, she often ate without stopping. Suddenly, she saw so many delicious foods that she had never seen before, and she really wanted to eat them all. I don't know what to eat, I don't know if it's good or not. I haven't tried it before, so let's just have one. Chen Ziang suppressed his desire. These must be very expensive, and it seems that the conditions are not very good, sister. Although Chen Ziang ate steamed noodles at Fu Haisheng's house, he was also very hungry and his stomach made a timely protest. How about a bowl of bean curd jelly served with sauce and a meat bun? Chen Ziang asked for 2 bean curd jelly served with sauce and meat buns, and they ate with relish in the small stall. It is the first time for Chen Ziang to eat bean curd jelly served with sauce and meat bun. The bean curd jelly served with sauce is smooth and tender. Add some pepper and sesame oil, and the bean fragrance will smell. Rujiamo is crispy and delicious, with a bite full of oil and water, the aroma of the meat instantly fills the mouth. Chen Ziang almost shed tears as she watched her little sister eat so well. She knew about the situation at home, and she must have suffered a lot too. Unfortunately, she was not good at dealing with people, and all the money she had earned over the years was squandered by that man. Surprisingly, she did not help her little sister at all. She broke a little of the meat sandwich in her hand and handed it to Chen Ziang. You eat, I can't finish it, Chen Ziang deliberately hiccuped. Do you still want to buy it? Chen Ziang took the rujiamo and looked at Chen Ziang discontentedly, and without hesitation, ate it. After finishing breakfast, Chen Ziang took Chen Ziang to buy a new set of clothes. Chen Ziang doesn't want it. You're with me. You're wearing 2 shabby clothes. People should laugh at me and say I mistreated my sister. Besides, I'll have to see your niece later. After listening to Sister Wu's words, Chen Ziang realized that she was dressed too shabby. Chen Ziang changed from head to toe. That girl doesn't love beauty. As Chen Ziang looked in the mirror, he couldn't bear to move his eyes, let alone take off his clothes and just put them on. People are like clothes, horses are like saddles. Wearing clothes completely transforms Chen Ziang. It's strange to say that although Chen Ziang lacks food and clothing, he has a well-developed physique. As a 17-year-old girl, she can make even the flowers lower their heads. Sister, is this very expensive? A total of 80 yuan. So expensive. I don't want it anymore. Chen Ziang became anxious. She couldn't even spend so much pocket money for a year, but in fact, she didn't have much pocket money at all. What's expensive? Wearing it makes it easy for me to earn money. Don't worry. Let's go see the baby. Sister Wu bought a lot of things for her baby again. Ziang thought about meeting her niece for the first time and also wanted to buy something for her. So she spent 10 yuan from Fu Haisheng to buy a Barbie princess for her baby. So much money did you get from there? Fifth sister asked Chen Ziang, so Chen Ziang told her in detail that Fu Haisheng had given her money. This silly kid is different from you, isn't he? Different. Chen Ziang felt a strange feeling, as she seemed to hear a broken sound in her heart. Must be treating you differently from others. Oh, my silly sister, someone treated you so well at such a young age. It's really fortunate. Chen Ziang only heard his sister's previous sentence, it must be different from you and others, isn't it? Chen Ziang blushed and said, Sister Wu, what are you talking about? We are just classmates, good guys. Chen Ziang remembers Fu Haisheng saying that he wants to marry a girl like Dang Guifang. How could he treat her differently? But thinking of Fu Haisheng's kindness, Chen Ziang's heart was chaotic and sweet. Our son Ong is still young and foolish. I haven't received any money from your fifth sister. My brother-in-law won't give you money. Can he just give me money like a bear? Chen Ziang fell silent. She didn't know what her brother-in-law looked like and couldn't comment. He and his child spent all the money I earned, and he has spent all the money in the past few years. Sister, have you always kept them alive? Chen Ziang didn't understand why Sister Wu had to support her brother-in. Law. The men in their family were the backbone of the family, and even if they were poor, they wouldn't let women support them. Every time Dad earns money, he hands it over to Mom. Mom takes care of the household chores and arranges their little days tightly together. The second brother's salary was fully taught to his sister-in-law, and when he wanted money, he even asked for it. Chi-gu is also the one who earns money and sends it back to his sister-in-law. She certainly didn't understand why her brother-in-law, who had hands and feet, had to be taken care of by Wu Jie. No wonder Wu Jie's family conditions were not good. It must have been very difficult for a woman to raise a man and a child. Chen Ziang began to despise his brother-in-law from the bottom of his heart. But she couldn't say it out loud. She was afraid that fifth sister wouldn't be happy. Fifth sister would rather take care of her brother-in-law, so she must be extremely fond of him. Ziang, have our families been okay these past few years? Sister Wu has not returned home since eloping with her brother-in-law. Everything is fine, my parents are getting older, and my seventh brother is also married. My children are almost 3 years old. You and brother 6 have been staying home, and my parents miss you very much. Parents have many children, but they don't care about one more or one less. What are you saying? No matter how many parents and children there are, it's all the meat that falls off their bodies. There's nothing they don't want and don't feel sorry for, said Chen Ziang, as his mother said. Ziang, you have really grown up. Chen Ziyue doesn't want to argue with her sister about these things. She hasn't returned home in these years, so she doesn't know how to face her family when she comes home. She ran away before finishing her studies and gave birth to a child, which is a situation that will be laughed at in her hometown. She doesn't go back, and her family doesn't know about her situation, so her parents don't feel embarrassed anymore. Hey, Ziang, tell me the story of the little boy who gave you money. Fu Haisheng. Fu Haisheng is the monitor of our class. His mother is a doctor in the county hospital. His father seems to work in the same unit. His study is similar to mine. At this point, Chen Ziang almost shed tears. The people she had tutored were all on the list, except for her. Oh, that family is very wealthy, no wonder they can give you so much money. Isn't it considered very wealthy? It's just that our family conditions can be much better than ours. Chen Ziang thought of Xia Yan, whose family conditions were better than Fu Haisheng's. This silly kid is very kind to you, you must cherish it, Sister Wu, you're really interesting. When I get rich in the future, I'll have to pay Fu Haisheng back. In a complete sense, Chen Ziang spent 3 men's money in his entire life, one was his father's money, one was Fu Haisheng's money this time, and there was also money from her child's father later on. Her father gave birth to her and raised her, while the other 2 men had a small amount of money, which made her feel even more warm. It made her believe that human emotions are real in this world, and she devoted herself wholeheartedly to every emotion. Chen Ziang vaguely felt from her sister's conversation that her husband and wife relationship was not good, and she rarely felt sorry for her sister. These chapters have always told the story of the fifth sister, because it is the story of the fifth sister that can move out of Chen Ziang's story. Add updates today. Thank you all for recommending tickets, collecting and investing. I guarantee you will make a profit. End of this chapter. 10, Chapter 10. The Story of Sister Wu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. The story of Sister Wu. Chen Ziang knew from Wu Jia that they had not officially obtained a certificate, and her brother-in-law was 10 years older than Wu Jia. My brother-in-law has a mesmerizing face and is perfect at drinking and playing mahjong. The family conditions of the fifth brother-in-law are not good. He only attended 5th grade of elementary school. He is good-looking, has a sweet mouth, and can coax others, but he never coaxes the 5th sister. Before Chen Ziang, he already had 2 wives and 4 children, but they had all left him. He had been with a woman for less than 3 years each time, fighting, and was imprisoned for 3 years. Sister Wu met her brother-in-law when she was studying in the city. In her 3rd year of high school, several girls in her class made plans to practice dancing together on weekends. Sister Wu was noticed by her brother-in-law because she was good-looking and tall. Wu brother-in-law often waited for Wu Jia at the school gate. At that time, Chen Songnyan was not the only one chasing Wu Jia. There was also a wealthy second generation who was handsome and had a good job. The second generation of wealthy people is called Li Chang. They often invite 5th sister to the small river outside the city after school. 5th sister has a very good voice and sings beautifully like orioles. Li Chang likes 5th sister's singing very much. One day, Li Chang invited 5th sister to watch a movie. It was very late at night, and Chen Ziang couldn't go back to school. So Li Chang took 5th sister to his house. That night, Li Chang and Chen Ziang were together, and the 5th sister heard Li Chang's conversation with another man in a daze. Did you bring a female student this time? Yes. This female student is 6 years younger than you. She is still young and very innocent. I'm serious. Are you all like this? Are you serious? I quit. I'll tell her that I'm going on a business trip for a while and she happens to be still in school, which won't affect her studies. On the 3rd day, Li Chang told Chen Ziang that he would be on a business trip for a long time, but he would occasionally come back to see her, encourage her to study hard, and leave a few hundred yuan for Chen Ziang. Chen Ziang thought of hearing what they said at night and knew in a daze that Li Chang was going out for a while. Ziang, you're good at studying. You're 18 years old and you're an adult. We'll get married when you graduate from college. Don't worry, I'll cover your education expenses. However, I'm going on a business trip recently and you'll have to wait for me to come back. Hello, it's a good business trip. I'll wait for you to come back, and I'll also study hard. Since then, Li Chang did not appear until the child was 8 months old when he came to find Chen Ziang. Young Chen Ziang had no idea what difficulties and helplessness that night had brought her. After Li Chang left, Chen Ziang rarely left school. She had a feeling of missing Li Chang and hoped to see him. Every time she sees Li Chang, she feels a sweet feeling in her heart. When they are together, Li Chang will tell her jokes and encourage her to stick to her ideals no matter how difficult it may be. Chen Ziang's ideal is to become a writer, and her studies are also good. Otherwise, she wouldn't have attended the same key high school as her sister. Chen Ziang would have read what she wrote to Li Chang, who listened with great interest and even memorized one of her poems. This poem is called I saw you on the eve of the storm, dark clouds covered the sky. I am afraid of being discarded by the world, but I saw you, that beam of lightning light illuminate the direction of my progress. No matter how dark the world may be, you just appeared by my side like that. I saw you in the season of birds singing and flowers fragrant. I opened the window, and you stand in front of my window, gently looking at me. The world blushed with shame, hiding the light of the sun. I saw my son standing on my heart like that. I reached out my hand and touched my son. Warmth flows through my heart, tears run across my face. My son stood on my heart like that. Every time Li Chang recites poetry, his eyes are gentle and longing. His voice is a bit hoarse, but it seems to have a kind of magic. Chen Ziang likes to listen to it very much. When Chen Ziang recited this poem, she was already sobbing uncontrollably. This poem was written by her to Li Chang, who appeared beside him when she was helpless. He inadvertently gave her some living expenses, allowing her to live a peaceful high school life for more than 2 years. During these 2 years, she did not ask for any money from her family, all of which were given by Li Chang. These 2 years have been the happiest time of her life. Li Chang has left, and she dreams of him every time. She wants to see him early, come back early, and study hard to get into a good school. Sister. Chen Ziang hugged Chen Ziyue and cried. Chen Songnian fell in love with the beauty and purity of Sister Wu. An old man often looked for Chen Ziyue at the school gate, which caught the attention of the homeroom teacher. The homeroom teacher called Chen Ziyue to the office. Chen Ziyue, your studies are very good, but I hope your character is also good. Look at what people you know. I don't know him. I don't know him, can he wait for you at the school gate every day? TSK, you said you're young, why are you so unruly? The homeroom teacher's gaze made Chen Ziyue want to find a hole to burrow into. The next day, Chen Ziyue met Chen Songnian. I don't know you, so don't come to me either. Our homeroom teacher has scolded me. Your homeroom teacher scolded you, is he trying to find/die? Look at me venting your anger, you wait. Chen Songnian said. Chen Songnian is just a fool, not afraid of the heavens and the earth. The next day, his homeroom teacher was attacked at the school gate, and his teeth in his mouth all fell out. Chen Songnian stood at the school gate and shouted loudly, Chen Ziyue, I have already avenged you. Look who dares to provoke you. The teacher and classmates all avoided Chen Ziyue when they saw her, but something even more tragic happened. During the school sports meeting, Chen Ziyue fainted while participating in the 400-meter race. Chen Ziyue became pregnant, causing a frenzy in the school. The homeroom teacher and principal asked who the father of the child was. 18-year-old Chen Ziyue lowered her head and remained silent. She only stayed with Li Chang once, and then the child came out. She cannot tell her about the situation with Li Chang. Li Chang is on a business trip, and if anyone finds out about her and Li Chang's situation, it will have a negative impact on Li Chang. Li Chang's father is a local boss in their county. Chen Ziyue couldn't harm Li Chang, but poor Chen Ziyue didn't know how she could protect Li Chang. If someone loves them, they will always love them, and everyone will be responsible for their actions. No matter what the outcome is, it is the cause planted before. Li Chang is not a good person, is he? If a person is self-disciplined and self-reliant, they will not develop any bad habits, it's just that Chen Ziyue is too young and simple. In addition, due to family conditions, parents rarely instill some ideas in their children, allowing them to have the ability to distinguish right from wrong. But then again, one mother gives birth to 9 sons, and the 9 sons are different. Isn't it good to have several bosses? Chen Songnian shouted loudly at the school gate for Chen Ziyue, which had already affected the order of the school. Considering Chen Ziyue's performance, the school decided to dismiss her. Chen Ziyue walked out of the school gate carrying her backpack, unsure of what to do. There was still a life in her belly, which was her and Li Chang's child. Chen Songnian said, we're not going to school anymore. Damn it, those who fired you will suffer retribution. You wait. Chen Ziyue, come with me, I will take care of you. Chen Ziyue was mechanically pulled by Chen Songnian and left the school step by step, as well as the small county town. End of this chapter.